Ready to level up in 2025? Tune into Branding with Bex for insightful conversations, captivating guests, and practical tips. Whether you're on a walk, in the car, or getting ready in the morning, grab your headphones and let's dive into the world of branding together. Slob kebab today, but we're just gonna.
Oh girl, I've been living in the same sweatpants because I think I'm gonna wear these cute outfits now that it's cold out. No,
Yeah.
I just live in the same sweatshirt, sweatpants because I don't want to do anything or do
I feel like
anything else.
the Florida winter, like it's great because sometimes I can go outside in a sweater and jeans, but when I'm not going outside, it's like sweat sets. It's kind of a
Just
nice change up, but at the same time, I am ready for spring and warm weather to join us for sure because I feel like this was a nice winter. We did it. Let's move on. Thank you for joining me again on the podcast. I'm so excited for this conversation we're going to have about the rise of influencers and how we're seeing such a shift from celebrities to influencers in so many aspects. It influences people, it influences marketing, business decisions, and then ultimately it's really helping to kind of shape the culture moving forward. I would say there's a huge change from at least when we were younger and like looking at People magazine and all of these tabloids about celebrities and what they were doing. And it seems like there's been such a shift from focusing on that to now looking to influencers and their areas of expertise and connecting with them on such a deeper level. I think this is the perfect place to talk about it as we talk about branding and growing your personal presence online. First thing I want to talk about is the rise of influencers. When did you, like, from your point of view too, like when did we really start seeing that happen? And then I feel like there was a lot of times, and this also got brought up in the Gary Vee podcast that I was listening to recently, that celebrities didn't jump on social media right away. And it seemed like they were, oh, I don't need to have social media. They didn't take the PR aspect of it seriously enough. And then I think influencers kind of snuck in there and were able to grow their accounts and their followings, and people were like, wow, these are the new celebrities. Around when do you think that was? I'm trying to think back.
I'm trying to think back too, and I think it has to have the rise. I think once Instagram kind of like made that rise, and there's like that little connection point where people realize that you can make money or become your own celebrity through social media. I think that's kind of like that pivotal point because like you're right, people obsess about celebrities. You could find out anything and everything about a celebrity, whether it's the tabloids, the paparazzi, the magazines, and just when internet was a relevant thing for them, the news articles. That's how we always knew everything about celebrities. But it was always whatever source that it came from, that was the story. So I think social media makes such a pivotal point that you can be your own celebrity, and I think that pushed the rise of influencers. Sometimes I think celebrities are so far out of touch with reality that you put them in a different box because they make themselves like untouchable, unrelatable, super rich, like you're never going to be like them. And then influencers, once social media became a thing and they didn't jump in on that, it gave, I guess, normal people that opportunity to live that lavish life, to create that lavish life, or showcase their talents where like they may have been ignored before. Not to dive so much into this, but like modeling, for instance, being short, we're going to be rejected by so many modeling agencies because we're simply short. I walked into an agency in Miami. The moment I set foot through those doors, they saw how tall I was and they were like, sorry, you should have our website.
I
Should
went on a cast. I was shorter than everyone else, and they're all in heels too. So imagine how much
mm-hmm.
more. And they were very selective about who got to be in that space. And influencer marketing really opened it up to say, like, just because you're not 5'7" and above doesn't mean that you can't be a model for our product. There was so much opportunity that came with it. And also, like you mentioned, you had the opportunity to write your own story and to tell your own story. And with the celebrity culture, and this also goes into the way that, you know, people talk to each other online, which I know can be so horrible, but I don't think that's new. So like if you look at tabloids back in the day, it was like they were constantly ripping on, like, we'll just say Britney Spears, for example, because that was one, they were so mean to her. And she obviously was going through a lot, and the magazines were just the constant headlines. It kind of gave people, they felt like they had the right to talk about other people like that and that it was okay. And I think the media is obviously not good, but I think the media actually pushed us in that direction where they were like, it's okay to talk bad about this woman that has cellulite on the beach because she's a celebrity. Then it opened up the door when influencers started to rise, where it was like, well, they put themselves out there on the internet so you can talk about them like this. And I think that's so wrong, but
Yeah.
that it's It's the same thing happening, just in a different outlet. And I feel like influencers, people feel a connection to them. And once you kind of put your personal self out there, you're opening yourself up to so much, which is great in opportunity perspective. But when it comes to the feedback and the opinions of others who hide behind the screen, it's not easy. So it's definitely an industry to have a thick skin for. I think this goes along too with this conversation that's happening right now with Blake Lively and the It Ends With Us drama. It's kind of interesting to see this because this must have been, I guess, the first time this has ever happened to her, because she kept such a profile when it came to
Really clean, yeah.
I am one that sees like through celebrities, like I know they're just people. I don't think that they're all super nice. I don't think they care about me. I don't think that they value the people that are their fans. They just want fans. So to me, this isn't shocking, but to people, for people to see how she was in that one interview and to see how celebrities can treat other people, like when the Ellen thing came out and everybody was like, I can't believe I'm like, why? Are you friends with her? Do you know her personally? Like how,
Yeah.
like, what are you basing this off of? What you saw on TV while she was entertaining you from a script? Like that's what you were judging her entire personality about. People get so wrapped up in the roles that they play that they forget that these aren't the actual people. I think people feel a connection to influencers more and more as more of this stuff is coming out. Like, hey, these people actually aren't that nice and don't really care too much about us. Maybe we direct our attention to an influencer that's giving us the time of day and letting us, ask them questions and engage with them on social media, and helps them to feel like a little bit more connected. What do you think about that?
Oh, I definitely agree on that point. I was actually going to bring up Blake Lively, but I was trying to touch just a little bit because I didn't want to make this whole thing about her, because we could talk all day long about the lawsuit and everything. But basically, she is a very, very good example of where celebrities kind of fit into our social status. So, like, before social media, people idolize these people. They are obsessed with these people. They're basically like untouchable. You knew everything about their lives, and like we live as if like we know these people, but they do make it very clear, whether people realize it or not, that like they do not live the same lives as us.
Right.
They have their, if we idolize teachers and doctors and police officers the same way, everybody would want to be them, but we don't, because they don't get paid enough. And we idolize these people because they get paid millions of dollars for entertainment. And I totally get that. America, like, our economy is built on entertainment. We have the best entertainment compared to all these other countries, and that is totally okay. But putting that in perspective, I think the shift towards influencers segues into that. People see influencers as like, I can be that person, because influencers are like people like us that have this kind of talent, that maybe just don't have the connection or the money to be able to get their talent across. And what I do like about social media is that it gives other people opportunities to share in that spotlight, to get that opportunity that in worlds before, if you were just not in Hollywood, if you just didn't even live in LA, you just would not get these opportunities. Or if you didn't know someone to know someone, you could not even touch that world. And I think the world of influencing kind of opens up that. Obviously, not all influencers are perfect, and there are some people that kind of borderline what we're talking about with celebrities. But for the most part, I do think influencers do open up that world where, I hate to say normal, but the best way to say it is like normal people can experience that life and create that life for themselves, when there was a point where it wasn't even possible. So like for Blake Lively, for instance, we see her as like untouchable, or like she has like this PR team that keeps her reputation completely solid. But I bring her up specifically because of social media, because of influencers. We now get information where you can psychoanalyze both sides, or there's influencers that will psychoanalyze both sides for you, where before you would just hear one side of the paparazzi and that's all that you believe. So in a good way, social media kind of like helps open up that portal too, and then you kind of see like the facade of what Hollywood is trying to portray to you, and then you kind of like, it's like light bulb, like, okay, it's money and it's people and it's PR team that makes these people who they seem, and it's this facade that we're being sold. And then when you look into influencers and why we just naturally draw to influencers more, I couldn't tell you the last celebrity that I follow on Instagram. Like, I feel like I just honestly always follow influencers now, because they make it attainable, because that's how life should be viewed at, instead of this like lavish, unattainable.
Yeah. I think you can also follow along with their story, and that is huge in terms of influencer growth. So everybody starts from 0 followers, and you build up your story, you build up your engagement with your community, and you can see the journey that the influencers have taken. And even if those influencers have grown significantly and now they are living that lavish lifestyle, you followed along in that journey with them. There are celebrities that are great at social media and do keep that connection going. So I don't want to just throw out that it's all celebrities. I do think there are some that really understand the importance of connecting with your audience. But I do think there's a lot going on that's out of touch, and it seems like for some reason their opinion, and this goes for influencers as well, their opinion is better than their followers' personal thoughts. And I think that we can apply that to so many aspects of life, like politics, how they feel about certain issues. And they talk about it like, well, what I say should matter to you. And to me, it doesn't. And to normal people, it doesn't, because they're not living the same lives as us. They're out of touch from what's actually going on. And I look to entertainment as entertainment. So yeah. I laughed at your movie. That's great. Doesn't mean I'm going to take life advice from you. I think more and more people are waking up to it. Facade is the perfect word to use, because people get attached to characters and then they assume that those actors are like their character, and they're playing a role, and it's great that they're good at it and that they've studied it and they've mastered their craft. But at the end of the day, they're playing a role that's not how they actually are. As an influencer, the ones that seem to be super successful, like a few that I'm thinking of, like Bridget, I'm thinking of Madison Mealy, I'm thinking of like Pookie Campbell, like they are relatable. You feel like you know them, you feel like you know their family, and there's that sense of trust there where the products that they're promoting or the things they're talking about, it's coming from their own personal, like authentic point of view. They're not promoting their latest movie or whatever it may be, or their latest role. Like, they are talking as themselves. So I think that really helps when it also comes to like marketing purposes. So we can look at that from the influencer side, where influencers have that authentic connection with their audience. I think this is a huge opportunity, and it has been for the last few years. Influencers are obtaining brand deals that celebrities are not. Then if you also look at it from a brand perspective, you now have niche influencers that specialize in a certain area and have that deep expertise and that audience that's super engaged and curious about what that influencer's up to have your advertising dollars go significantly further. I think like that relatability helps them to have that trust with their followers.
Oh yeah. No, definitely. I think like there is that shift in authenticity. I think like for so long that we've just put all our faith and all our trust in celebrities because just everything they did just like turned everything to gold. But I think like as the generations go, as we get more social media, as I guess not to say that people get more skeptic, but I think as like people see perspectives outside of Hollywood, they realize like, okay, influencers exactly like you said are just like a little bit more trustworthy because they have to put this in their own life, in their own point of view, because they don't have most of the times a production team putting on their video. So like it's such an interesting concept to think about. Like most celebrities, they're famous from the movies, they're famous from these roles, but then influencers are kind of like not twisting acting, but like they are being able to put themselves in the public eye but also being themselves. So it's like switching that narrative around, which I think people find more comforting, where you yourself can feel like that person because like you can be an influencer. Anyone can pick up their phone and like download the app and like become one. And if your talent shines, like that is fabulous. Like that is like what people like should want for themselves to be successful in whatever it is that they do, whether it's on the internet or not. But I think it's a little bit refreshing to see like people kind of like take charge of their own life and like live by their own perspective and rules versus just only following not all celebrities, but for the most part celebrities that really don't care about the people that buy their products or like watch their entertainment.
Yeah, I personally don't follow celebrity accounts, and I think there's we can dive into the psychology of this too, like why celebrities have such an impact on some people, like still. And I know this might sound harsh, but I honestly thought the impact of celebrities was something that would decrease as we got older. I thought it was okay to like have your favorite celebrities or your celebrity crushes when you're like a preteen, but grown adults obsessing over celebrities and what they're doing is something I just cannot wrap my head around. It's really hard for me to comprehend how people are caring and spending so much time and money on like either going to see these celebrities or, supporting these celebrities' endeavors, like, and not supporting like their friends and family that are doing things that are trying to be entrepreneurial or trying to become content creators or whatever it may be. So I'm sure there's a psychology behind that. I can't understand it myself, but I feel like so many people get wrapped up with their favorite celebrity and they're spending thousands of dollars to go see them. And I'm like, we're like adults now. Like, don't get me wrong, I love to do stuff for fun. Like, but I just can't wrap my head around obsessing over doing something because a celebrity told me to do it. Like, that to me just seems weird. I don't know. I know that sounds bad to say, but I just don't understand. And also, if a celebrity tells me to dress a certain way or wear something from their line or to go to this place because they said to do it, and people that are just like grown adults are going to do it, that just does not make sense to me. Like, I don't get it. What do you think about that?
No, that is a very interesting point that you bring up because I love espresso. I think that song is my jam. I was like, but no, I totally agree with you. But I'm not. I saw the prices of her tickets, and I was just like, absolutely not. I was like, I love glitter boots, but and
Yeah.
I have a pair.
Fun
But
to
no,
fun to put on a cute outfit, fun to go to
exactly,
listen to
like
music. As adults, music festivals, like that's fine if the prices were like reasonable. But the fact that people are dumping so much money into going to see whoever it is, do you think it's like for the social media cred of saying that they went? I feel like these concerts too, it's always phones in the air, everybody's recording it the whole time. Is anybody actually standing there and enjoying it? I don't know. Everybody like is posting constant stories of the actual event. So it seems like people want to like media cover it instead of enjoy it, but then they pay to go, if that makes sense.
that is really interesting, and it's I think it's an important factor. So like obviously like we're not psychology experts, but I do think that for certain people we have been so what's the word, like almost like mind warped by like these celebrities. Like they have been such a stronghold on our lives whether we want it to or not, whether that we live our lives with or without them, with or without knowing them, because of how Hollywood behaves and how the tabloids and the media behaves. Like these celebrities are such a stronghold on our lives, and I think Hollywood, whoever the media wants the mass attention towards these kinds of people and towards celebrities. But it brings up like a very important factor. So like when I started social media, a lot of people thought that it was just bizarre and wild and was just like, oh well, you're not somebody on social media unless you have this amount of followers and you do this, right? And I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, granted like 12,000 is like not a lot, but I'm just like, I did do this and I did do that, and I earned opportunities that maybe the average person wouldn't have been able to. I don't consider myself like anything highly or anything like that. But what that opened my mind to was that these people have been so accustomed and so trained to put celebrities on such a high pedestal that those people can do whatever it is that they want, and that is just the whole world. And then for other people that are saying that like don't necessarily see it that way, we almost get like put in a box or like rejected because we're just like, well, they're not really doing anything so much or so different than what someone else could do on the internet. But then it's like, no, but it's this name and this person and that. And so I think like there's meant to be like some type of segregation like in our world and in our society, that like these people are just meant to hold like this kind of power. So then all these people that get wrapped into it, they're supposed to have like some type of stronghold that maybe will influence other people, that like puts that stronghold, so like everything like kind of like builds and like catapults like on top of each other, that like these celebrities are just meant to be like on this high pedestal or like whatever. Because trying to understand like that kind of obsession, that kind of grandeur of like these type of people, because in all honesty they're really just normal people. They sing, yes they dance, but are the only people that sing and dance? Absolutely not. It's just whatever it is, like these people, they get these droves of people that will dress like them, spend thousands of dollars on them, won't blink an eye about like what they do for these people. But God forbid someone opens like their own clothing line or whatever, and it's just like, you're a pipe dream, but this person, and it's just like, you know, like it's just interesting because everyone starts in a similar way, more or less. Maybe this person had like a better in into Hollywood, but yeah, like it's just like that divide. It's just like almost like whatever it is, like people want that divide.
And I also think this goes along too a little bit more with security for people. I think celebrities are an out of touch concept for people that are like, oh, they're in a separate box. But when it comes to their friends or their family doing something different or against the grain or against the status quo, it's intimidating for people. People don't understand your journey. Some people, it's a reminder that they're not going for whatever it is that they want to go for. So it's like the insecurity piece, I think, is big. And it's so frustrating too, because you see it so often where people are obsessing over like a Kardashian outfit or post. But they'll scroll past their friends and family trying to share an update, you know? And to me, I think that is an insecure thing. I think it's them saying, oh, they're doing something that maybe I would want to do, and that's why I'm not going to support them. Or they're doing something that I don't understand, so I'm not going to support them in that endeavor. But it's so clear to me that celebrities are doing the thing. So that's why they'll show that support. And it sounds so messed up to say it, but I do think that's one of the root causes. I think anytime, whether it's social or not, if someone steps outside of the grain and does something different, it's kind of like a reminder to the people that wanted to do something different but didn't have the courage to do it. So there are people that get your journey and there are people that don't. It's so important to have a community and to collaborate with other people that are also passionate about the same things that you are in their own ways, obviously, but you don't really get it unless you are in the space. It is hard to kind of say, like, oh, well, I'm going to put myself out there on the internet every single day for the next few years because this is something I'm passionate about and I love to connect to people online. And I think it's so important to have that collaboration piece, helps to have other people to relate to and to connect to. I think celebrities right now are trying to stay relevant. We're seeing that shift where it's like celebrities realize they missed the mark significantly on Instagram and on any sort of social platform where they thought PR will handle it and I'm just going to post whatever. Like there's only so many movie updates or things that you're going to share that are going to hit before you realize like people need to actually feel a connection to you. They're also losing so many like brand opportunities. I'm seeing so much advertising money from huge companies going to influencers instead of them. And I feel like the celebrities are starting to try to play a game of catch up so that they're staying relevant again. And we're seeing like influencers getting these awesome opportunities like commercials, you know, all these great cool ops that should just go right to celebrities. Like it's really opening the playing field, I think. And I think people are waking up to that.
Oh, for sure. I think like for a long time, society put like a significant gap between celebrities and like I guess normal society. So the people that would follow celebrities, and I think there was such harsh line between that. Because even if you think about reality TV stars, like even in our generation, we heard it was like A-list celebrities and B-list celebrities, and that was like the movie ones, the actors, actresses, the singers. That was in one pod. Then you had clearly the reality TV stars that were put in that B list section, and then there was us that entertained it. I think there was such a strong divide that like people believed for a long time that that was a pipe dream, that's a one in a million. These people, it's just not a thing unless you know someone to like be in that world. And influencing like definitely opened that up and made it more an attainable dream where like people like listen, like it's a dog eat dog world. So I get that not everyone is going to be that one in a million star, but the world doesn't have to be like so closed off. And what I do like about influencers, like being micro influencers ourselves, we do take it from a point of view where like we try to be as genuine about it because we're sitting here, we see like all these opportunities and we know what we're capable of and what we want to bring to the table and what we want to make different. So I do like influencing in the sense that it gives us that sense of creativity, that sense of freedom, that sense of this is where we are, this is what we can do, this is what we can change. So it's like nice to have that freedom. But obviously now that Instagram has kind of capitalized and monetized that world, it is a little bit more competitive. But even with everything considered, it is still a very more like relatable type of feeling because some of the big influencers, they film right inside of their house. They honestly use their cell phones. They use basic kind of cameras. They use normal equipment, and they make that once unattainable world very much attainable. And they also make that kind of entertainment industry less drama like, because I feel like in recent years I haven't heard like, oh, this person cheated on this person and this person's having an affair with this person. So they're like taking all the narrative away from those celebrities, and in a very weird way now the celebrities basically just have to present themselves with just talent. They can't really spark the tabloids anymore because now you have influencers that will dive deep, like Blake Lively.
Right.
I feel like she's fighting to stay relevant because she was very much an it girl, and I don't find it ironic that one, her movie came out and people tanked her for her interview. Two, Gossip Girl was released on Netflix not too long after or about the same time. And when you rewatch those old shows, her character really wasn't that most favorable. And then being in that Hollywood circle, you do those kind of PR stunts to help save image, but then now the downside is that the internet is forever. When people put something out, now people actually take the time to research. They're reading lawsuits on both sides. They're reading everything, and they're realizing she's actually like a very, very, very good point of like, I wouldn't say the fall of celebrities, but that celebrities do a very good job with protecting their image, creating and crafting like who they want to be and how they want to present it to the world. But then they also present something like they also want you to know that they are untouchable, and that's what the lawsuit kind of brings up, is that she really thought she was untouchable. You know, people can do their own research. I don't want to dive a lot into that because I actually watched a lot of his Justin Baldoni's lawsuit and her lawsuit, and it's an interesting one. So side point, that they're really not as untouchable as they think, and it is shifting more to influencers and reality TV stars. Yes, there is a dark side to reality TV as well, because you see reality TV, it segues into influencers, but then it kind of like comes back and circles back into that celebrity world. So I feel like influencers specifically kind of like hold that door open just a little bit. It kind of gives people just enough space to be like, yeah, like this is your creative outlet. You can be this kind of influencer, be this kind of role model for other people that may be distracted by the other side.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And also, I know we're going to lead into the psychology behind reality TV next. Really quick, that window you brought up is so important. And I think that's why we're seeing the shift. So I think what happened was it was celebrities and then influencers. And then now we're seeing that middle ground, which is reality TV, because the people that are on reality TV shows are influencers. They grow an online presence for sure. I mean, the ones that do it well, and you can see it. And they build businesses out of it. They build personal brands out of it. They connect with their audience. They're comfort creators. They are ones that are people feel connected to them. And that space, I think, is one that we just repeatedly see growing because people connect with them from what they saw on TV, but then also they know that they can also connect with them online too. So it's not like a celebrity that you saw a movie, but you know you're never going to actually talk to that celebrity. Reality TV, you see them on TV, but you know that they're just normal people. So it's so much easier for you to relate and to connect to them because they're engaging with you online and they share their bio, where they're from, things like that. So you feel connected to them. And I think that does help with them growing their personal brands and then ultimately stemming out into business creation. I feel like celebrities are losing it in terms of the traction that they used to have. The reality is people don't really care, and you have to make them care. Influencers do a great job of that because of, you know, the content creation piece, like making sure that they're always there for their audience and things like that. And the reality TV is great because there's so much psychology that goes in with that, but you feel connected to them from watching them on TV and then from connecting with them online. And it gives you a glimpse of being able to do what you enjoy doing, and gives you that glimpse into I'm in control of what I can share, and I can cultivate a community around what I'm passionate about without the constant way that celebrities used to be looked at in like the 90s and early 2000s. You can walk past influencers and huge reality stars on the street and you might not know who they are. But then you go online, you see, oh, they have 3 million followers. It's funny. So I would say Corbin Bleu was a big celebrity back when we were younger. And
Yeah.
I was on a train in New York City and I literally went up to him and said he looks like Corbin Bleu. Like I didn't know it was actually him until after I said that. But for the most part, I feel like influencing, you turn it off if you delete your account and disable the app. And then people probably won't notice if you're walking on the street and they see you. Being a celebrity, you can't turn that off. I feel like that reality TV influencer space is so appealing to so many because they know that you could still live a normal life. You could still go to the store. You could still go do your daily routine
Yeah.
without being like stopped by other people. That also leads into our whole conversation next about what's next. What do you think is next for celebrities and influencer marketing? And what trends do you see too in terms of like reality shows? Like, why do you think that that's so appealing?
I think that's such a good point because I'm just like thinking about how influencers can live their everyday lives. Same with reality TV stars. I think celebrities for so long have I just want to keep saying the vibe because I feel like they just make it known that if you're a celebrity, you can buy Balenciaga, Birkin, Hermes, like all of that. And like they create this image of status and they create celebrity status as this high, monumental symbol things. And it's like how they live their lives. Where like when you look at an influencer or reality TV star, yes, I've seen a bunch of influencers. They have Hermes, they have Louis Vuitton, they have all that, but they just make it seem more, not to say normal, but like more attainable because but everyday people do own those bags, so it's not like celebrities just like own, not just to talk about luxury, but just like lifestyle in general. They're, celebrities are not the only one that can go to Turks and Caicos and like all this, but for some whatever reason we're just accustomed and trained to look at celebrities like, oh, no, 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 only they can do that, no, 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 only Kim Kardashian. Yeah.
Yeah. They also get a pass when it comes to cancel culture more so than
Mm-hmm.
influencers and reality
Yeah.
stars do. And I think that is something we don't talk about enough. Balenciaga, when we found out about that brand and
Mm-hmm.
their creepy advertising and everything, it was like a big wave to cancel Balenciaga. No problem. Big
Yeah.
celebrity. We can wear Balenciaga. Yes, people commented in the comments like, "Hey, what's going on?" But there's so much celebrity drama right now. You see with all these big stars and all of this information that's coming out about them. There
Mm-hmm.
are still people that will come to their defense. People are still supporting their endeavors. People are still
Mm-hmm.
liking and commenting on their posts when they're sharing about these brands that we know are not good. And it's like because they're a celebrity, they like give them a pass. Like, "Oh, don't worry about it. Like, we'll cancel anyone else that wears this, but
Mm-hmm.
it's okay because like it's okay because they're famous. Like
Because
they
they're, yes, yeah,
probably
like they're whatever they are, whatever label they are, it's okay because since they're a celebrity, they can be extra. Oh, because they're a celebrity, like, like, oh, they don't understand, they don't need this. And it's like, we make excuse for people because like we're just grown up with the entertainment industry. I don't know about other countries, but like entertainment industry really runs, I don't know, almost everything in this country. And I think there has been a huge shift in reality TV stars, especially with Netflix, I will say, is very good about bringing in newer names, unknown names, trying to bring in that kind of talent. So they have really revolutionized American industry and entertainment in that aspect. But I think with reality TV stars, people are now finding it more likable that we see people kind of like ourselves, like on TV. It feels homey, it feels relatable, like Love is Blind, Love Island. They are very normal people. They shoot screens and scenes that feel like home, and they do that on purpose. And I think whoever conceptualized that, figured that out, like huge marketing move. So like kudos to them. But it is true. Like the more that we find like in that like relatable sense, because I feel like there had to been some point where people felt like the stretch of celebrities is too much because they're owning $10 million homes. Like I understand, yes, their home is worth $10 million, but in order to obtain a $10 million home, we have to have $1 million of assets, whether it's in tangible money or whatever else, to be able to get that kind of home, to be able to pay that kind of mortgage. So in order to obtain a $10 million home, you have to have like more than $10 million. coming in annually to be able to do that. And sometimes I think that's what people maybe like forget about, like they're like, oh, like, yeah, like, oh, you know, just because I have a $10 million home or it's worth that doesn't mean that I have that. I won't dive there, but I'll just leave that out there. But reality TV stars make it very much more like relatable. Like sometimes it's almost like refreshing and nice to see, I guess, like real in a very structured, very conceptualized, very perfected Photoshop like world. So I think like once that push for that kind of moved in, we see like Love is Blind stars, whether they're there for love or not, doesn't matter. They're now all influencers, Love Island people, what's the new show, Ultimatum, all those people, right? Prior to them thinking them going on the show to be famous, like sure, it's reality TV, you know, you're going to be seen by a lot of people, but when they do come on that show, they are very normal. They feel like they say things that we would do. That's unscripted. It's a little bit different than what we would see on like what we would watch on like MTV. I think Netflix does a really good job that makes it feel even more real. MTV just like it was very scripted with like all the shows that they did. But it's an eye opener because I think it's just like another funnel, it's another opportunity, it's a good segue for like other people to kind of like dive into that world that, you know, like celebrities pave the way. If like I'll say it again, if doctors, police officers, nurses, whoever, teachers were paid the exact same amount of money that celebrities did, everyone would be flocking to do that job. Unfortunately, they do not get paid that same way, so you gotta really love it if you want to do it. Singing, acting.
Yeah, it's our culture has always put it in front of us. Like it was in the magazines growing up. So I know people say like, oh, social media celebrities, like I don't think it's helped the celebrity image much. I think we've always been exposed to celebrities on billboards, on whatever it may be. So they constantly pushed in your face, like you should look up to these people. I don't know why, like they're just people, but they always did that. And I think that the idolizing of celebrities, I think people need to really evaluate that if that's what they're spending their time on. I did bring up, so I decided to dive into the psychology of reality TV shows from artifactmagazine.com, and there was a quote from a psychologist and Dr. Marian Trent, and she mentioned that that lots of reality TV is also freely available and not hidden behind paywalls. There's a collective element that humans like to be a part of something. It's that water cooler chat that gives potential for either in person or on social media. It can give you an energizing feeling that you're part of a tribe. That also furthers the point of community building on Instagram. If you follow the same accounts, it's a conversation starter with other people that are also a part of that community. If you listen to the same podcasts, if you're absorbing the same information, it opens up a door with reality TV to connect to other people of, hey, did you watch the show this weekend? Or have you caught up on this yet? And it's another way to connect with people. And I feel like that's a big aspect of why we're seeing such a shift into reality TV. I think it's always been there. We've always had game shows and things like that, but I think it's gotten more and more popular and there's been more and more different shows out there. Something that The Guardian reported though is that reality TV is fueling body image anxiety in young people. And this was in a response to a poll carried out ahead of the 2019 series of Love Island. And I think TV shows, in order to produce something, you have to know that you want an audience. I think these reality shows are very selective in terms of who they're picking to be on the show because they have to entertain. So, you know, you see like Selling Sunset, they pick these characters that they know are going to be the villains or they know are going to, you know, evoke emotion, or maybe they pick them because they're really good looking, whatever it may be. I could see how they're saying like young people are absorbing this because reality TV pushes the idea that these are everyday normal people. But not everybody obviously looks like these celebrities, these reality TV stars do. It also gives people kind of a little bit of a distorted perception of reality. I think people forget that a lot of these reality TV shows are essentially scripted or edited to get the message across that the producers want to and to keep you watching. And I think that distorted perception of reality helps, and not helps, but it facilitates in the comparison to others, especially in potentially young adults or, you know, preteens that are watching these shows.
That's definitely such a good point, because even when sometimes like I watch these reality TV shows, I feel so invested because the way that they portray reality TV, they do obviously make it seem like it's real life, and you yourself, you feel like you're in it, you feel like you're part of the situation. So I think that shift towards that, especially like if the way that people take that piece out of social media and like put it into back into reality TV, is that I think like whoever figured it out is like, okay, let's take these people that like, on social media, you are the star of your own show. You are. And you take that and you put it into reality TV where, like, yes, like, people don't realize, like, most of it is scripted. It is there for drama. Like, Love is Blind is a very good example. They are not there to all find love. Like, we will face it. It's like, I can dive into that too, but the percentage rate of who actually is happy and married is, the last time I did the math, it was like 6%.
Yeah.
So they're not there to find love, unfortunately. But it's entertainment at the end of the day, and they do such a good job, right? Like, it's that community. It's that, like, okay, did you watch this? Oh my gosh, like, I like this person, I connect with this person. So they're doing a really good job is, like, taking what we think is ordinary everyday people, their emotions, or like whatever, get us connected with them, throw them into some type of drama situation, because, like, let's face it, like, people like drama. They like drama, especially if they're not in it and they just want to watch it. Like, I watch all those TV shows. I get it.
Within the article, it asks, why do people enjoy watching others? And a big part of that is comparison to others, emotional burnout. People turn to reality TV to kind of tune out and check out from their day, whether they had a stressful work day, whether they're going through some drama within their own lives and they want to disconnect from it and to just focus on something like a mindless TV show that, I don't know, some people love watching Real Housewives for that reason. They check out at the end of the day and put on their TV and they're good to go. Others, there is that relationship building aspect where it gives them discussion and connection with their peers. If other people at work are watching something or people that they know are watching something, they're more likely to tune in, and then that way they can have those conversations with others. I am not one that watches a lot of reality TV, so when people bring it up, oh, I didn't watch that, and then there will be people like, oh my gosh, how could you not watch this yet? Sometimes it's like, hey, it would have been nice if I knew what everybody was talking about. So I think that connection is something people crave, and we do see that with social media where people are like, did you see this reel that was so funny that went viral, or things like that? And reality TV is just like another layer of that virtual connection, I guess, and then bringing it into real life. As we wrap up this episode, it's already been 50 minutes of us talking about reality TV, psychology of reality TV. Influencers, celebrities. I know we talked about a lot. I think from my point of view, what we're going to see a lot of, and this is just like my prediction, the rise of influencers is going to continue to happen. I think what's next for influencer marketing will be very interesting, to say the least. There's been a lot of talk about the growth of AI influencers, and this is something that's been brought up by Gary Vee and a lot of the digital marketing experts. These accounts are already growing. They're already getting brand deals, which is just like so bizarre to me because they're not real people. And it is something to watch, in the influencer space. However, I do see there always being value in real influencers as we are real people, and people are craving that human connection. We see it with reality TV. We see it with all these other areas, people going to events in real life because they want to connect with their community outside of social media. So my prediction is that influencers are going to continue to have a space in the online world, more so connecting to their audience on deeper levels, whether that be in-person engagements, broadening the content that they're sharing, continuing to offer more tips and tricks and to engage with their audience. And I see celebrities that have started to wake up to how celebrities are starting to wake up to how awake people are of them. And I think we're going to see a shift where celebrities are working on their social media strategy, trying to stay relevant in this space. Whether they can keep up or not, we'll see. And I think reality TV, as usual, is going to continue to grow. I think those creators on reality TV definitely need to be really conscious of the community that they're going to grow by being on reality TV, and the ones that want to make something of the personal brand that they grow need to be really strategic with how they do so. And I think we see it with some reality TV stars do a great job, and then they grow to millions of followers. They have a very engaged community. They get other opportunities, things like that. Then we see other reality TV stars that maybe don't know much about social media, and then they don't utilize their platforms to the full potential. So those are my predictions. What do you think?
I definitely agree. I think AI is definitely something to watch. We can't ignore that AI and that kind of technology won't be competing, if not taking over. And I've heard the same thing. It's just that, like, sometimes, like, you really can't tell if it's a person or AI made.
Creepy. Yes.
Crazy. So that is something definitely to watch. So I would say, like, I don't have too much into that, but something definitely to watch. But I agree. I do think we'll see the rise of influencers and the rise of reality TV, because they do, like you said, it's that more humanist connection, that more relatability in that community. I think, however reality TV is doing it, obviously influencers have figured it out a little bit more. That is going to push the shift more so in that direction and more away from celebrities. And then to kind of wrap up like the psychology of reality TV, I will say, and kind of like with that psychologist, the only downside is like, yes, they do pick people that have, I'm not going to say unattainable looks, but everyday people do not look like the people that are selling $1 million houses.
Right.
They don't.
I mean, we need to get a little bit more realistic with these outfits, though. Like
The latex,
the skirts, the stilettos,
the poof, and the
I'm like, yes, but you're also like a businesswoman. I just, you can wear such cool outfits for sure, but the some of these looks, I'm just like, okay, we gotta chill here for a sec. I mean, you're selling a $10 million home, like
Exactly. Yeah, like no, all of that is definitely like done on purpose because it's like again, they want to draw that line. It's just like, okay, yes, you can be a part of this world, but can you pull off this outfit? And then it just like stirs so much more in psychology that like we can make a whole nother episode about. But yeah.
Which I feel like we should definitely talk about that. The trends that we see from reality TV stars translating into real life. It's so interesting to look at because there are fashion trends that celebrities wear that then people replicate in real life. And you know that they're only wearing that because they saw like a celebrity wear it and that was like trendy and in. But it just makes me think like what people's personal styles would be like if they didn't have that external influence.
You're like, what?
People follow these trends. Why do they follow them? Do they really like them or do they do it just because the celebrity does it? And to the people that like me that are like living under a rock and like don't really participate in pop culture, when you see it from an outside perspective, I'm like, what are they doing? You know? But it's kind of normalized because they saw it on TV.
Yeah, no, that is true. Like I will say, like, listen, the bob, like here, just only let Hailey Bieber do it, please.
Yeah,
like, just enjoy your long hair, please, please, please. Like it took me forever to grow this back. Like, please enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, there are things like that I notice. Like, will translate, and all of a sudden everybody will have the same, like you said, haircut, or you'll see a lot of people with the same makeup style, or unfortunately, it translates into body types. I mean, we see people that. The BBL was huge. Everybody wanted tiny waist, big butt. And then now it's like, but growing up, we had like the super skinny models. And that was like trendy for a while. Then it went to really curvy. Now it seems like it's kind of going back. But for everyday people that are participating in these trends, I mean, these are like body changing surgeries that like you're doing. And ultimately like your body probably looks the best in the way that you were born. Like I think people are doing all these things to like keep up with the latest trends, or like big lips are big, or the cheek, like removing your cheek fat, I've heard is something that people are doing now. And like they do these things so that they fit into the mold of what pop culture is telling them is in. But like that will change in so many years. Celebrities have the opportunity to morph into whatever body and face they want to look like. What was like the goal? Like was the goal for you to look like a celebrity? Is that what you want for your life? Clearly it goes to show how impacted some people are when it comes to celebrities and pop culture.
Oh, definitely. I think like I'll add just to that a little bit is that people forget that also the reason why celebrities they're on a different level because of the money that they have, because they can literally transform their face and their bodies into anything that they want, and then they sell that to people as if that's actually as they are. And it's like
they're
such a dangerous message because it's not real, but we're perceiving that as real. So Instagram a little bit, reality TV a little bit, just show the real side of normal, beautiful looking human beings. Not all, obviously not all, but I think the shift in that is that as I see Instagram hold that stronghold, I do see people being more honest. And even if they have work done, at least they're honest about that versus celebrities. And then even with reality TV stars, if they have work done, sure, whatever it is you want to do, sure, by all means, it's your body. But we do see a little bit more or less truth in what they have done versus celebrities where it's just like, no, I just look like this.
Yeah, the transparency is key. Influencers are so much more likely to say, hey, I got whatever it may be, to like keep that transparency open with their audience, because it's proven to show more authenticity equals a greater connection with your following. Really just beneficial all around when people are transparent about that stuff. Like you said, AI definitely something to keep an eye on. I wouldn't let it deter people if they're interested in becoming a content creator themselves. Go for it. But it's just something to watch, especially if you're looking at it from like a brand or a personal brand perspective. I think that also goes to show how important it is to be authentic online. And with that, I think we can wrap up this episode. Were there any other points you wanted to add before we close this one?
No, I think that was honestly perfect. I think there's like so many more topics like we definitely got to get into later, but I think for this, yeah, like it's mostly on the AI thing. Just watch it. Not much to say on AI at this exact moment, but I would definitely watch AI, get a little familiar with it, I would say.
Yeah, and I think keeping your audience in the loop on your content creation journey, people forget to do that. I mean, we just assume that our audience knows our message, knows why we're posting, knows why we're doing these things. And it may feel repetitive, but that authenticity, that organic content that you're sharing about yourself and your journey with this makes you more and more relatable with your audience. There are so many people to follow on there, and I think if you continue to show up for your community, more community will join, and it'll just help to strengthen that whole relationship. AI is something that's coming, and it's like a train. We can't stop it, but we can continue to be our authentic selves online. It's proven that it does translate in terms of influencer marketing. There is value in real people and real connections, and people crave it. That's why they watch reality TV. So thank you so much, Lizzie, for joining us on another episode of Branding with Bex. I know in this podcast we brought up so many additional talking points, and I can't wait to have some more episodes with you to go over those over the next few months as we're sharing them. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, we'd appreciate it if you rated and reviewed. Thank you, Lizzie.
You're so welcome.